You know, this is a great question, a pretty common question, and I think it's key to surviving in social work because there's so much that flies at you all the time, and so you need to figure out what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. You have to figure out a way to prioritize your tasks or responsibilities, and there's all different kinds of activities or appointments that may come up in the course of your day that I would consider kind of low-level priorities. So those might be things like, you know, going out and having lunch with friends, or you know, maybe being on the birthday committee. And for some of these activities, you probably can prioritize based upon, you know, timelines or your availability and things like that. However, in social work, a lot of what causes that stress, that angst, that overwhelm is because you have competing priorities that are super important. And in social work, it's really more than important. It's about urgency. You need to figure out a way to determine priority within that urgency. So the urgency in the higher level priority stuff might be things like going on a home visit or meeting with a youth or a family or a parent and a youth that are having conflict right now, or a individual who has expressed suicidal ideation. So these begin to kind of get into higher levels of urgency. And so you need to figure out within those things, that home visit, that suicidal ideation, how do you prioritize those things, put them in an order of quote unquote importance such that you can address them, schedule them, and methodically get to them. It can be kind of hard to prioritize these things because in their own right, they all have some level of urgency. And also, whether it's your supervisor asking you to complete one of these things, or maybe a judge or a coworker, somebody else oftentimes is externally putting pressure on you to make these things priorities. But what that does is take away from the care that you need to make sure that you get for yourself. So because there's all these different levels of priority, because there's probably external forces on you to make certain things priority, you probably need to develop or need to find some kind of tool that more objectively helps you to define levels of urgency, from things that can wait all the way up to crisis level things. Now, this is actually an area that I've been working on pretty intensely over the past several months, and I do even actually have a tool that I'll provide the link where you can get it up here, or I'll put it in the comments. But this tool, by basically asking a series of simple questions about safety, about risk, about the time element that some of these risk and safety factors may have built into them. So you answer these questions, and it will provide you with an objective response to where you may want to consider the level of priority. Once you have determined in an objective way the level of urgency of each of these tasks, then you can kind of prioritize them, get them on your calendar, respond to whoever you need to respond to, and have that system in place that allows you to approach and address all these different needs, but in a way that's organized, that's systematic, that's structured, and that at the end of the day, hopefully saves you from, you know, that burnout, that overwhelm, and gives you peace of mind because you have control over your workflow. So I hope that's helpful. Feel free to go ahead and grab that tool and see if it's useful for you, and hopefully helps to prioritize some of the competing things that you have going on any given day, specifically those urgent things that come up in the course of your social work duty.